From our free daily newsletter, the latest from podnews.net with Spots Now.
We are going to get a load of brilliant, funny, interesting, creative, famous people round for a proper chat and something to eat.
Cooked by
you, of course, Angela Hartner of Michelin star fame. It is called Dish from Waitrose.
Dish from Waitrose is the world's most successful branded podcast. According to a release today, the show has had more than 1 billion downloads, views and listens since launching in 2022 and is the only branded podcast featured in both Apple and Spotify's top 100 charts. The show is sponsored by Waitrose, a UK supermarket. Apple's WWDC made a number of announcements. Relevant updates coming soon include a redesigned podcast app on tvOS, which will likely bring podcast video to the Apple TV device, and a customizable EQ feature for AirPods. We expect more detailed announcements as the conference continues. Fire TV is to launch in the coming months in the UK, Germany and Canada. It's already live in the US. In the UK, Bauer Media Audio has announced that it's a launch partner and will bring its podcasts and radio stations to the platform. Podtrac released its May 2026 rankers. The ranker also includes a global multi-channel ranking, which includes audio and video podcasts and video clips. Video podcasts is Spotify and YouTube only and doesn't include Apple Podcasts. The Daily becomes the #1 podcast, overtaking NPR News Now. Combat sports podcast network Smashcast Media has partnered with Backyard Ventures for advertising representation. Meanwhile, Campbell McLaren, the co-founder of UFC, is to take part in a new podcast about the early days of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. There Are No Rules launches later this month, distributed by Revolver Podcasts. The Empowered Podcasting Conference has announced details of its 3rd annual conference. The event is in Charlotte in North Carolina on August the 21st to the 23rd. Mark Ronick, the event's founder, tells us it's a place where independent creators can learn from industry leaders, connect with like-minded people and discover new opportunities to grow their audience, their skills and their business. And a media literacy program from a podcast publisher will be rolled out to every South Australian primary school. Newshounds from Squiz Media teaches kids to stop, think and check before believing everything they see online. Already in more than 5,000 classrooms across Australia, a new version of the tools with an emphasis on artificial intelligence and classroom resources will be rolled out to every primary school across South Australia later this year. And in podcast news, The Athletic has announced coverage of the World Cup across its podcast, video and streaming, including a new daily show from The Athletic FC, which will exclusively air in video on Fire TV. The Adam Friedland Show is moving from the All Things Comedy Network to Spotify and will be working with The Ringer for a mini-series called The Beautiful Pod within the feed from tomorrow. The series will run over the course of the World Cup. Tuesdays with Stories has a brand new website. The website for the weekly comedy podcast, hosted by comedians Mark Normand and Joe List, lists every episode and includes fan polls too. And Judgmental is brand new from Bauer Media Group today, with 2 judges that you'd recognise from Strictly Come Dancing, Anton Dubek and Craig Revel Horwood. We're told the show is a witty, warm and wonderfully opinionated new listen for anyone who loves pop culture commentary, etiquette debates of questionable importance and the sound of 2 great friends putting the world to rights. And this podcast is sponsored by Spots Now. Spots Now is the AI operating system for podcast advertising. Join the upcoming webinar on June the 18th to learn how podcast networks can use AI to maximize their sales output using Claude, agents and ChatGPT. It's free to book at spotsnow.io/webinar or use the link for Spots Now in our show notes. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe for free, we're at podnews.net.